Module 12, connect. I very specifically use the verb connect because it's my intention to get you into the habit and the practice of connecting with potential clients. Many advisors struggle with this area. Once they're connected with someone, once they have the rapport in some kind of a relationship, they're fine. They're fine to enter into the financial planning process and go about engaging their skill to do what they need to do with their now client. But from approach to connection, many people, not just advisors, find it really challenging. And a big reason for that is because the connection has an underlying intention of moving from social or chit-chat to business. And when advisors think too much about that, it gets confusing or weird, so they hold back. The thing is, though, that humans require connection. Where you find it difficult is bridging that gap from the actual connection to the connection that involves the business. The good news is that in the next chapter, we deal with bridging that gap. Conversational skills about moving from chit-chat to something serious. So you don't have to think too much about that right now. We'll get to that soon. What you need to do right now is embark on a plan to align yourself with your potential clients, your prospects, so that you're in a position to connect with them with the intention to do business. Now, people buy people. So the need to connect with them is important. If you simply go from approach to invitation, for example, and leave out that phase of connection, well, you might sell a product, you might do a little bit of business, but you're not going to go through the depth of a financial planning process. You're not going to go into the depth of the relationship and acquire this client for life. You're not going to get share of wallet. You're not going to be referred unless you have a connection deeper than the superficial. Few people are natural at this. In my life, I've probably met a handful of people that are absolutely naturals at this. The social butterflies, the ability to move out of one conversation and into another, the skill, the superpower to approach anyone, anywhere that you desire to meet with the intention of doing business with. There are not a lot of people that are naturals. The skills can be learned. But if you have intention and you have reason to approach and connect with a particular person, it will be a lot easier. That's why I refer you back to the module we did on goals, because it's not just the goals of the business, but your personal goals. Remember, the goals that you have for your life are satisfied by achieving the goals that you have for your business. It gives you purpose, and that purpose comes all the way back to connecting with another human being, because your intention is ultimately to create the life and lifestyle that you want. Connecting with someone will allow you to do that because the connection leads to business. So maybe you don't know what to say or how to say it, or you say stupid things. It so often happened that I and everyone else has walked away from a conversation thinking or saying to ourselves, I wish I hadn't said that, or I wish I had said that. These awkward moments are common. They happen. It doesn't matter. It gets easier with time. The more you practice this, the more you mess up practicing it, the better, because you get better and better and better doing it. So don't avoid connecting with someone. Don't avoid having that conversation because you're scared of saying the wrong thing, or you're scared of forgetting to do something. In this video presentation right now, I'm scared of forgetting to say something or saying something wrong and having to backtrack and say it again or re-record. This happens. It's natural. It does get better over time. So keep practicing connection. In the resource that comes with this module, I refer you to Vanessa Van Edwards, who gives you some fantastic tips on killer conversations you can have with people so that you can start conversations in a better way and continue those conversations using the way that you start as a bridge into it. What you want to do is make people feel comfortable. And the way that you do that very often is to be curious and ask questions, especially questions about themselves and what they do, because they know the answers to those questions. And people are very comfortable and happy to talk about themselves for that reason. So if you come from that place of curiosity and take a genuine interest in the person that you're connecting with, it'll be a lot easier to create the conversation that you want and go into the depth of conversation that you want, and ultimately invite the person into a more serious business type of conversation. On the back of being curious and asking powerful questions, you also need to listen very carefully. Advisors of the past, the insurance salesman type of advisors, are known to talk more than they listen, to talk about the product and money and things about them and fluff their tail feathers, instead of asking those powerful questions and listening to the responses of their potential clients, so that they can, as a result of hearing those responses, tailor the conversation and move it in the direction that suits the prospect, so that they can connect deeper with the prospect. It's not just about asking the questions and listening to the answers. It's about that active listening way. It's about being seen and being felt, to be listening to every word that they say and considering it, and not waiting for your next opportunity to speak, but being genuinely curious throughout the conversation. Where you want to go with this is from not knowing to knowing. Once you've approached someone and you're engaging them in some kind of conversation, you'd start with really knowing very little about them. And in asking the questions and listening to the answers and responding in such a way as to move the conversation in that comfortable direction so that you can connect with them, you'll go to knowing more about them. And on the back of that knowing, you can move into further action around connection. This module is fun. It challenges you to set yourself some goals and some actions around connection. And then it challenges you even more. So take some time and commit yourself to it and prepare yourself for it, because it is fun. And you won't just be connecting with the intention to do business with prospectful financial planning clients, but connection is everywhere. You will be connecting as you practice this and get better with this with people everywhere. I remember a story about a woman. I can't remember her profession, but she got into the practice of connecting everywhere she went, for the sake of connection, not necessarily just for business, but it definitely benefited business. And when she flew, and she flew a lot, she would always book the middle seat so that she could have a person on either side of her. So wherever she flew, she would have two potential conversations for the duration of the flight. And now, depending on her profession, on her career, whatever she was selling or doing, or the service she was providing, everywhere she went, she had these opportunities to connect with more and more people either side of her and around her, everywhere she went. Connection is so powerful. Approach will get you to connection, but then your actual act of connecting will take it to the next level, where you get more depth with a human being. And on the back of that depth, you can start to move into a more business type of conversation, which is what we explore in the next module. I'll see you there.